Remember that last year, Newsnight documented the journeys of two families to this country, refugees from the Syrian civil war. They were in camps in Jordan and were brought here via the official British programme to rescue the most vulnerable people in that region. Well, we've been following the fortunes of those families, and we have to report that for one of them, things have taken a disturbing turn. The teenage son of that family was in court today, charged with sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl. It's too early to say very much about the circumstances, but John Sweeney has sent us this report from Newcastle.
How we cope with the refugees from a pitiless war is a test in humanity for Europe and for Britain. But it's also causing great stress, both for the politicians and in the real world. The British government's response was to allow in 20,000 refugees over 5 years from countries like Jordan, shown here, and Lebanon. The refugees were selected by UNHCR and fast-tracked if they were deemed vulnerable or needed medical help.
We are proposing that Britain should resettle up to 20,000 Syrian refugees over the rest of this Parliament. In doing so, we'll continue to show the world that this country is a country of extraordinary compassion.
But at a time when immigration is perhaps the nation's hottest political issue, some have warned of the risks of countries taking in large numbers of people from a very different culture. UKIP leader Nigel Farage has drawn widespread criticism this week by raising the spectre of sex attacks by immigrants.
What's happened is a very large number of young single males have settled in Germany and in Sweden who come from cultures where attitudes towards women are different.
And the issue of how we as a country handle the tension between common humanity and social cohesion has come into focus here in Newcastle. In the Crown Court here today, 3 young men have been charged with sexual assault against a 14-year-old girl. One of them is also charged with sexually assaulting a different 14-year-old girl. All the accused have pleaded not guilty. But at least one of those young men is a Syrian refugee on the government's resettlement programme. People in Newcastle are aware of just how sensitive this case is. Newsnight has been following the family of one of those accused in court today. His name is Omar Badreddin, 18, originally from Damascus. The family fled to Jordan, where they were selected by the UNHCR to be resettled in Britain, where they've lived for the last 6 months. His co-accused are Mohammed Alfrouh, aged 20, and Mohammad Allakkoud, 18. A fourth youth, aged 16, has also been charged with sexual assault. All 4 are believed to be Syrian. A 5th man is on police bail, and a 6th has been released with no charges. When this case comes to trial later in the year, it's bound to be watched closely, and not just by people in the northeast. Its outcome could have serious consequences for the government's resettlement programme of Syrian refugees and also for the already fraught politics of immigration.
John Sweeney in Newcastle, and we will of course follow developments in that case. It was just